And we're excited to have Nancy back with us. She's talked with us before about our domestic violence and healthy relationships. Today, she's doing it a little bit different. She's going to be sharing the modules that she's created to help with distance learning and addressing issues within the domestic violence curriculum for across the grade spans. But she's done those in a Prezi format, so she's also going to, after sharing the information, she's going to do a live Prezi, which is a new thing for us, a new thing for her. And then she's going to do a tutorial on how individuals can use that to do that, which is very exciting. But it's really a cool new tool to use. Like we all want those things we can pull out of our toolbox, as Kelly has talked about. Got to have that toolbox and pull things out. So without further ado, I will turn it over to you, Nancy, and I am going to just turn my screen off for a little while because I want to check and make sure I have everybody in, but I don't want to distract you. And Nancy will be sharing her screen. There is a little bit of delay every now and then in what she's doing, so just be aware that we might have to wait a couple of moments, but looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. All right, all yours. Oh, and just for new folks, so we do keep ourselves muted during our sessions, and then unmute when you have a question. Wave at us or go to the bottom where it says raise or lower your hand, and we will call on you at the appropriate time. But absolutely do welcome questions, and I know Nancy doesn't mind. So, all right.
Oh yeah, yeah. Anytime, ask questions.
All right.
Yeah. So, thanks for coming to today's class, today's meeting. This is so awesome. Yeah. So you've heard me. You've all heard me talk about how much I love Prezi, and I just find that it's a really versatile teaching tool, whether, I mean, I used it in person, teaching in classrooms. I made a lot of my programs as my backdrop. And then I'm still there and I'm still talking, but those are all my graphics behind me, so it is a very personal thing to do in person. But now with the addition of Prezi Video, which is kind of a new platform that they introduced, you can still kind of get that same sense of being, not just reading off slides, but having a much more interactive presentation, I think, than we've ever had before, which is so great. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by just sharing with you one of the pre-recorded Prezi videos that I've done. And so what I did was I created the Prezi first, and then I went back, opened up the Prezi video, and recorded myself. So in order to do the recording, there is a pause button, so you can record a little bit, pause, record a little bit more, pause again, and so there are some videos that I've done where I was able to smoothly go all the way through and just pause as I was changing screens, and then there are others that I had to record like 5 or 6 times, because of outside problems that I was having, or I stumbled on my words, or, maybe I was filming it outside on the deck and a bug flew in my eye or something like that. That may or may not have actually happened. So I'm going to start out by just sharing with you the teen dating video that I did. And so I'm just going to ask everyone to hang on for just a moment here. I'm going to turn off my computer, so that way I can do the share screen a little bit more easily, and then I'll bring up the video, and you'll get to see what my Prezi account looks like. So just hang on one second. Okay, can you all see my screen? Okay, all right, great. And feel free to talk to me. I feel really like it's weird to be presenting and having no one actually speaking also. So feel free to talk to me. But when you go into Prezi, so I'm gonna talk about Prezi as we go through the presentations as well, because I just think it would be a little bit more efficient to do that. So as you can see here on the left of the screen, there's 3 different categories. There's videos, designs, and presentations. Now I have a lot of presentations, okay? So if you scroll through, you know, you'll see that I have quite a few in here, and there are more actually, but I have quite a few in here, and I have multiple copies of each one. And just like Kelly was saying, you know, in doing the virtual classrooms, you know, it's important to kind of create your original. And then if you're going to make edits, you know, doing different things, you know, you want to have different copies of it. So that way, you know, you have something to resort back to. So like I have, for example, this one here, the teen dating for adults. This is just a plain, simple, you know, I've got 4 bubbles of information, and that's my original. And then I made a copy of it because I was doing some other, you know, experimenting with different colors and how does that look. And then I'm also, you know, going to be adding voice to this. So this will be ultimately called voice copy of teen dating, or video copy rather, because I have several of them that have multiple copies. Like you see, I have like a voice copy of something and a video copy of something, where you might just hear my voice and have to click through the screen versus you seeing me. So I'm going to pull up the video copy of distance dating. I'm just going to hit the present button here. Now it might take a moment to load the sound, but there is definitely sound on this video. So, so hang on there, and I'm going to click present. Sometimes when we share on Zoom, it takes a moment to get it started because there's so many people.
Is it playing right now?
Well, I did click play, but I'm not seeing it playing. And I mean, I can move through this. I can move through the screen, but it's not loading the video portion.
Yeah, we did this before, remember, and it started like 2 or 3 minutes later.
Yeah, that was a little bit difficult. So let me open a different one, which is like maybe a little bit smaller. So let's do the video copy of Being a Good Friend and see if that one loads a little easier. Hopefully. When you're presenting to a group live, it goes a lot smoother than trying to present a video copy, which is, you know, what I'm trying to do right now. This takes an awful lot of bandwidth to do. And so I'm not sure whether I'll be able to actually play the video because it doesn't seem to want to let me do that. But anyway, I'll just keep talking while we're waiting for it to load. So as part of my job at Family Violence Project, I've gone back and basically recreated the programs that I teach in person. And I've taken just the key points from each of those presentations and created these Prezi videos. So, you know, the 4 topics, like for being a good friend, you know, these are the 4 topics basically that that run throughout the program, which if I was teaching this in person, you know, this would be 45 minutes to an hour program. And because of the Prezi video, I was able to, you know, just do this in a matter of 4 or 5 minutes long. So Susan, it doesn't look like it's loading the video, which is okay. So I'm going to go a different route here. I had that problem once before when we were trying to load the videos. It just doesn't seem to like to do that, which I don't really understand why.
Which we tested on Tuesday, and it works Tuesday.
Well, we tested the live.
Okay.
We tested the live, and the live is certainly something we can do. So let's just jump right over to the videos section. Like, so you have presentations. I'm sorry.
This is Susan. I was just going to share to let folks know the presentations that you're seeing that she's sharing here. Those are available in our folder.
Yeah.
I may need to put one more in there, but we do have a folder in our shared Google folder specifically for this and those presentations that are available. Okay, I just want to let
Right,
folks know
yes.
that.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, some of these, there might be one or two here that are not yet available, but I am working on that. And then farther down the screen, I have many prezis that I've done that are really like in person. You know, these don't have voiceovers. They're just ones that I use for in-person work so far. But I can always go back and add my voice or add my video. And then it also has another element here called designs, which is a really cool element if you're into making infographics or posters, or you do social media posts for your school or your agency. You can go through, and you know, it's just like any other program where you can create graphics to represent whatever you want. You know, this is one that I recently made for Family Violence Project, and on the bottom left, I'm just going to make it smaller here, so that way we can see the whole screen better. But what you can do is, you know, you can add the text boxes and the photos just like any other program that's similar to this. You have a wealth of images in there that you can use, which is really awesome. You can add some animation. You can do, you can add a chart or a map. You know, there's all sorts of things that you can add to your graphics, which is wonderful. So if you are making social media posts, that's a great option. And then there's the Prezi videos. So Prezi videos, there's a lot to work with here, because you can either create a new video from scratch, which is really great, or you can use it for video conferencing. If you have a PowerPoint, you can also import your PowerPoint and convert it to Prezi, which is really awesome. That's a kind of a new feature, and I really love that. So I'm going to jump back to where I have presentations listed here. And this is something that I started working on, like, so I have the teen dating for adults here. This is, and I'm just going to open this up. This is, you can either play or you can open it in edit form. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. There's no voice on this, so we shouldn't have any trouble loading this at all. So this is my blank Prezi, okay? So when I mean blank, I have a big blank spot in the middle here, and I designed it that way because that's where you'll see my face, right? And then as I go through, you know, I have all sorts of information that I can click through, and I can talk about it, going back to the main screen in between each one to take questions. If I'm doing a live broadcast, I can take questions, or I can just kind of introduce the next one. You know, you can point to the bubble and be on screen with it. So this is basically, you know, what my blank Prezi looks like. Now, if I want to, I'm going to close that and open it again in edit mode, right? So here I've made a copy of this one. I've renamed it video copy because that's my intention, to make a video, and I'll open it in edit mode. So let's give that just a moment to load. Shouldn't be too long. And I think I'm going to, yep, there we go. So now up on the, you'll see everything is still loading on the left-hand side. It does take a moment to load. And that could be also my own particular internet connection. But up here on the top, you have some buttons here: create video and present. Well, if you want to just record, you can really do it either way. The way that I prefer to do it is to go to the present button, open Prezi video here, and then it's going to ask me, how do I want to create? So do I want to appear with my content, or I only want to add my voice? So I want to appear with my content, so I'm going to hit continue there. Now at this point, it's going to ask me to allow my camera, which I will because I have my camera turned off on the Zoom, so that should work. To allow camera. Here we go. Now can you see me?
We can.
Okay, all right, that's wonderful. All right, so from this point now, really, I have two options. I can record my video or I can go live. And even if I click go live, I can record that too. Okay, I might be recording, you know, with your participation. If I want to do that, I would click go live and then just record. So if I click go live, you'll see it gives a box here, open Prezi video. And we're going to wait for that little box to come up. So it's telling me that I'm already using the camera on the other on the other one. So let's see what we can do about that.
Can you turn off your? No, that wouldn't work. Never mind.
I'm going to close that and see if that helps.
Oh, it does work. You can
There we go.
present with that. Okay.
There we go. Yep. So what I did was I just closed the other open video that I had, and I can make it full screen. So you can see that right here, you know, now I can kind of point to content as I'm clicking through, you know, definitions and examples. I can give a welcome message. I can still see all of you on the bottom of my screen. That's where I put all of my all of my pictures. I dropped it to the bottom of the screen. So so now I can really just click through, and I can also toggle whether you see my face or not. So on the bottom left, there's three little icons. So either you just see me, or you see me and the content, or you just see the content. Because there might be times that you're presenting that really you have a lot of content on the screen and you just want, you know, the screen to be showing. And you can do things like embed videos in here as well. So that way, you know, you can give a nice introduction to a video, and then after you present it, you can go back and talk about it with your group. So I think it's a really versatile program to be able to use. So I'm going to pause just for a second and see if at this point we have any questions.
Folks have some questions? You want to raise your hand or wave or unmute?
How about you, Amy? Are you following along? How's this going for you?
You have a thumbs up from Kelly.
Okay, awesome. Amy, you're muted.
And unmute. Where am I?
Okay.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm following. It's a little fast to click here and click there.
Okay.
So I'm getting an idea of it, which is helpful. But yeah, I haven't looked at it enough to like see what I'm seeing here and then reference back to what I was looking at, like when I was playing with it. So that might be helpful for the future.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast.
No, it's good.
Okay.
Nancy,
all right. So, yeah.
Nancy, are Prezi's a free application?
So there is a license. I think that there is a free student version. I believe there's a free student version. But we did purchase a license from them, and the license right now includes access to everything. And because we're a nonprofit and I'm an educator, you know, I mean, it's not that much for the year. I think it was like $59 for the whole year.
Isn't bad at all.
Yeah, no, and it's been well worth every penny, you know, honestly. So,
yeah.
So at this, yep.
Yeah. So you purchased that. Let's say next year you didn't purchase it. Would you still have all your presentations?
Yes. Yep. You keep all your presentations. You just wouldn't be able to edit or create new ones at that point, but you keep them all. And you can download everything too. So you don't need to have everything stored on their platform. Like right now I'm connected to their website, But I don't have to do it that way. I could certainly, and in fact, that might be an easier way for me to show you those videos. I bet you if I loaded the video directly from my downloaded version, that would play a lot easier. So, so we'll get back to that and we'll try that again. And Amy, did you have another question? I thought.
No, I was just going to say they tell you you can do a free week trial, but then of course they want a credit card to start that free week trial. But then I went on, like, I think it's today. It's $3 a month to be billed, like $36 starting the day after your free week trial ends. And that's like the basic. There are other options, but the other options are like $19.99 a month or $59 a month, things like that. So the basic one that I did, just to figure it out and if I can use it, is $36 for the year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good information.
Yep, and don't forget to, you know, to take a look at what the specific packages are for educators. You know, because they're going to charge businesses more than what they're charging educators, especially right now. So I think that that's good to know. So if I wanted to record right now, you can see on the bottom here, I have the record button. I also have the video conference button. This is not one that I have used yet, but I know that if I wanted to do a video conference with someone, if I click on video conference, I have another set of virtual camera options here, but I don't use that. So I'm just going to escape out of that. It's not an option that I need to use, but the record button, if I wanted to record this, oh, look, that went away. There we go. It did pick up on the video conference. Let's exit that. So if I wanted to record, is it okay with everyone here that I press record for a moment, just as a demo? Okay, all right. So if I click record, it will give me, you know, the little red button here at the bottom where I could hit start recording, and then I could record our session. But you know, we don't really need to do that because Susan is already recording for us. So I'm not. We don't need to do that. But it does give you a nice little countdown, as you can see. So that way, if you do want to, you know, pause your recording, I can pause right there, and then I could resume. You know, so that way, if you're having a discussion, you want to maybe record your part of the presentation, but maybe you don't want to record someone's questions, you know, or the audience participation. You could always pause it and not record that particular part.
That's a really nice
Which is
feature,
really cool.
especially given you want, and you can clearly see, I'm assuming that what we see is what an audience would see. So if you were with a group of kids, they would know you're not recording their conversation. So I think that's a positive feature.
Right. Right, exactly. And so I clicked done recording. And at this point, you know, it uses a lot of bandwidth to try and do this over Zoom. So honestly, like, I don't really want to do that. So I hit the back button. I'm going to close the recording because we don't really want to record that. Okay, so I'm going to close that video. And so if you don't mind, I would like to share one of the videos with you. And I think, like I said, the downloaded version, we should have a lot more success with that.
I want to go there.
You want to go there? Yeah, isn't that nice? That's the Bahamas. That's like my dream vacation spot right there. So, all right. So why don't we take a look at the distance dating for teens. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Family Violence Project video education class about teen dating. Today we're going to take a look at distance dating and talk about some ways that we can maintain a level of equality and respect that will make your relationship stronger. The first topic is equality. It's important that both people feel like they're equals. The graphic that you see here is the teen equality wheel. There are lots of examples of what equality looks like in different situations. Sometimes you have to work hard to maintain equality, but it's always worth it. You will also notice that there's a graphic of a remote control. If there's no equality, you might feel like your partner is using a remote control on you to dominate the relationship. Nobody should ever attempt to threaten, harm, manipulate, or control you. The second topic is safety. Technology can be a really great way to connect with your partner when you can't be together, but it's important to do so safely. Setting some boundaries is a great way to keep you both safe. For example, excessive texting about what you're doing, requests to share passwords, and sharing of very personal pictures or videos can lead to trouble down the road. Remember that anything you do in the cyber world will live there forever. So it's important to set boundaries that you can keep. If you have any questions about your cyber safety, pick a trusted person to talk about this with. Our next topic is respect. Respect is a really important part of maintaining a strong relationship. Sometimes it's really hard to say no to your partner. You care about them and your feelings, so of course you want to make them happy. But that doesn't mean that either of you has to just give in to the other person. You have rights, and it's important to exercise those rights so that nobody feels that they are being dominated by the other person. Take some time to look at the graphics on this slide, and maybe even talk to your partner about them. If you'd like to talk to someone else about this, there are a lot of people available. On the next slide, I'll share a bunch of great resources that you can access to learn a lot more. There are a lot of great resources you can access to find out more about equality and respect in relationships. A great place to start is loveisrespect.org. The great thing about them is that you can call and talk to a person, or you can text them, or you can read through a great collection of information that includes things like graphics, book suggestions, and even quizzes. Another great resource is your local Domestic Violence Resource Center, or DVRC. Did you know that if you call the statewide helpline, it will automatically direct your call to the agency nearest to you based on your phone number? You can call that number anytime, any day. It's free, and someone will always be there to answer. There's never a bad time to call. Thanks for watching. Okay. All right, so that gives you a little bit of a peek. I'm going to do a stop share for just a moment. That gives you a little bit of a peek as you know, what you can do with Prezi and Prezi videos. You know, when you're presenting like this, you know, in Zoom, and I've downloaded it to my computer, and now I'm doing a screen share, and it's over Zoom. You are going to lose a little bit of that quality. So that won't happen when you're connecting that link directly with your people. You know, like I took these videos, I put them up on a YouTube channel, and so now when I share them, I can just connect right to that YouTube link. Everyone can access it directly there, and you don't lose any of the quality, because, you know, as you can see with that one in particular, you know, wherever you have writing, especially if the writing is small, it is going to be a little bit more difficult to see that, you know, when you're working through 3 platforms like we're doing right now. Yeah. Okay, so thoughts or questions so far about how you might be able to use this, or what else would you like to know more about?
I think you could embed these as well in a virtual classroom as a resource, which is kind of nice, or post them to your Google Classroom as part of your healthy resources. I could see myself using this a lot, and I can see my students definitely going to that on their own where they feel comfortable and knowing that they have that lifeline there. I think that's amazing.
Great. Great. Yeah, I think it's a really good tool. You know, you can do it for any topic. As long as you want, so the video platform that I'm using, really like 15 minutes. There's a limit. The way I do it is that there's a limit to the videos being 15 minutes. There is another way to do it to make longer videos, but that's a little more complicated. So, but 15 minutes is kind of a long time, you know, for a video anyway. So like that one that I just showed you, the teen dating one, that was like, I don't know, 3.5 minutes, you know, and still a lot of information can get packed into that video, and you can go back and forth as much as you want, you know, however comfortable you are. You don't have to show your face the whole time. Like that one, I didn't have my face showing as much in that one as I do in some others. You know, like especially for the younger students, that's much more important to make that connection. So I work really hard at that. Mm-hmm.
Nancy?
Yes.
Kelly, can I use you as an example? So let's say Kelly wants to take the presentation you just shared. Can you, the one that you shared with us, can she take it and modify it if she had Prezi? Make a copy of it or contact you? Because what I'm thinking is, as a classroom teacher, she might want to show it and then stop it,
Yeah.
and embed a question for the kids to answer and reflect on. And then they can watch the next segment and stop. And she says, you know, I want you to now reflect on this question. Is that an option?
It depends on how I have it, how I have it set up for security. So, so I can go into the settings and either make it private, in which case only people who have the link will be able to see it. Or I can make it public. If I make it public, from there, really anyone can download it. But unless you have a Prezi account that you can then, like, you would have to download it from me, you would have to then upload it to Prezi, your own Prezi, and then you could go back and edit. So you would be able to do that. However, the templates that I use, they're all there. You know, like I'm not starting from a complete blank screen. I'm going in and I'm picking out a template that might have like, okay, I want 4 bubbles here. And, you know, and then sometimes you have like a sub bubble, you know, so that way when you're opening it up, like, oh, and then I'm going to go a little deeper, 1 level deeper. You can add, it's like adding another page. So you could certainly do that.
Kelly?
Do you upload your videos to YouTube as unlisted, Nancy?
What do you mean by unlisted?
Are they, like you said, for restriction purposes, are they just on your channel and you're choosing to use them how you would like to share them, or are they public?
Okay, I see what you mean. If you were to grab them from YouTube, you cannot edit them from there, because they are already in that video format. But like if you did a search on Google for Prezi video, or, you know, Prezi, and then whatever topic you're looking for, you'll likely get a whole bunch of people's Prezis that are on that topic. You know, anyone who has put their settings to public, and then you can go and download them and adjust them from there.
And of course, the ones she shared with us are in our folder, so that's easier access.
Right, right.
Amy? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm always trying to find my unmute button. It moves around. So like the template, like you have the equality wheel up there, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something like you can grab from Prezi, or did you have to find that image and like import it or something?
Yeah, that's a good question. So they do have a lot of, I can go back and show you that in a little bit more detail if you like. So let me go back to, let me see, let me make sure that I still have that open on my screen here. Okay, so yeah, I can share that with you. Let me just do a screen share here.
And Nancy, but I want to make sure we give time that I'd love to have you share one of the younger presentations
sure.
also
Okay, sure.
off of your desktop.
Yeah, off
That
the
worked
desktop,
great.
of course.
That was great
Yeah.
off the desktop.
So if you were going to start from scratch, yeah, that did work great. As long as you have it downloaded, I think you're all set. So if you were going to start from scratch, I can show you what that looks like. So you see here, this is, this is where you're going to be creating a brand new presentation. You can also do this through the video section, okay? But just for the sake of making things a little bit easier, I'm going to do it through here. And I'm going to keep my camera on the Zoom camera for right now because I think it would just be a little easier. So I'm going to click the create button there, just that little plus, and this is going to give me a lot of different options here, right? So there's lots of categories on the left, different templates that you can use. So you can also, let's start by looking at education, okay? So let's say that I want to do something, like honestly, you can just start with a blank template. You can. You can start with a blank template and then just add your own background and things like that. But I'm going to show you what a template looks like just in case you want to see that first. So let's just pick this one here, my presentation. So if I load this, it's going to give me the option like, do you want to use this particular template? I'm going to click yes, use this template. And then from here, I can change anything. So, so depending on how much time I have, I might choose to start with a template, or I might even choose to start with a blank, completely blank. If you're just starting out, I would say go with the template at first while you're learning. And then as you get a little bit more familiar with it, then you can, you can do things that are a little more advanced. So, so on here, this is going to give you kind of an overview of how you want to set up your Prezi. How do you want it to look? So maybe maybe you want to change the title. You do that here in that box. You just double click, and we're going to put just Nancy's demo here, right here. And so it will save that. Maybe I don't want a subtitle. I can delete it. I can just hit the delete button. And then you were asking me about about pictures. Maybe I want to put a picture on this page. So you have lots of buttons here at the top. Like there's the insert button. This is my best friend, this button. And from here, I can insert a text box and I can insert an image. So once I clicked on image, you'll notice that on the sidebar here, it gives you lots and lots of options. So I can either search for something specific, like if I search for dog, right? And let's say, we want to use this cute little guy here. I can just kind of drag him on there. and it will put this cute little dog right on my screen. And I can move him around, wherever I want him to go. We can move him, we can resize him. And again, things are taking a little bit longer because of, we're doing it through the Zoom. So that's why it's taking longer to load everything. And if it's not showing right away, I'm gonna click bring to front. Make sure that, there we go. Because you do have kind of layers in there, so that way if you wanted to put, like, for example, if you wanted to insert another image in there, knowing how, or a text box, knowing how to do that, bring to front or bring to back is really kind of an important tool to be able to use. So if I want to insert another image, and let's say we want to have this little guy over here, right now I don't see it, but I'm going to say bring to front. So that way, as it loads, that's going to be in the forefront of anything else, in front of any other text box, in front of any other photo that I might want to use. So it'll load, it's coming. And I did say bring to front, right? So it's coming. Now, so you see what I mean, that you can layer it on top, one on top of the other. You know, maybe you want the other one in the front, then you can do that, you know, and it will layer it on top of that one. Now, if I look at this and I say, you know, I really don't like that background, that's also something that I can do. I can change the background. So I'm just going to right click on the desktop right here, right click, background, and I can choose a new background. You know, maybe I want something that's a little bit more elementary. You know, we've got some pictures of colored pencils here. So that's going to reload a new background for me. You can use any of your own pictures as well. So if you don't like something from the gallery here, you can use this little upload image button right here on the top right. And then you can grab something from your own library. So like when I went to insert that picture, like what Amy was asking, when I went to insert a picture, I had to do upload image. And I uploaded that earlier, you know, like I downloaded it earlier from from the web. I put it in a folder on my desktop, and then I just clicked upload image. Okay, and then you can just drop it right in. So as you can see, things are taking a long time to load, and that's to be expected because of the way we're doing things. But you know, then on the left hand side here, this is where you jump through your topics. So I can change anything here. If I don't want these to be circles, I can change the shape. If I don't like the font, I can change that as well. And so, you know, you can go in, you can look at like the fill color. Maybe we want to change the color of these shapes here. You know, maybe we want to change the shapes entirely. Maybe we don't want to have circles, you know, so we can certainly change them and go through and look at all the different options that we have here. There's a lot of options that we'll bring up on the side. You know, maybe we want it to look like clouds, whatever you want. You know, you can make it personal and just have a lot of fun with it. And then, you know, so you'll see also on the left-hand side, like with topic 1, if I double click on topic 1, now it's going to zoom me in, and this is where I can put all my content. So really on the first screen, you're just going to be putting like your titles, and then all of your content is going to be within. So that's the cool thing about Prezi, is that it lets you zoom right in. And then here, again, you know, you can insert your images right in here. You can insert audio, you can insert videos, you can do a video link, anything from your own images, and that's a really cool thing to be able to do. So I'm going to go back a bit here and go to the second topic, because I can see just by looking at this that there are multiple slides embedded in this second topic. So if I click on that, oh, sorry, I went a little too far. If I click on that, I can see that I have my general topic here, the second one, but that there are also like subcategories. Now, maybe I don't want those. Maybe I do want those. If you want them, then you treat them just like any other bubble, you know? So you would do everything on this screen. And then like I did before with talking about red flags, I explained that and I wanted to go into that bubble a little bit. You can do that, but maybe you don't want them. You can literally right click on it and delete it, and it will just go away. And then you can go back. So it's always going to bring you back to your main screen. You know, your first screen that you had before. I don't know why that background didn't want to load, but that's okay. We can put a different one in there. There, let's try that one, see if that one will load up nicely. But really, you know, it is a very versatile program, so that way you can just go through, make it your own. You know, that's the thing about this, is that, you know, it's you know, we're all making a shift here to online presenting, and you have to like your programs. You know, you have to like what you're doing, and be happy with them. Oh, look, see our background loaded. And the particular template that I started out with had these little lines on here, you know, just as part of the decoration of the template. I don't want those. So you know what? I can just right click, and I can delete them. They were just part of the original design, but they're easy to remove, you know, so I could go around and remove all of those. I can, you know, easily move the text boxes around. And if I want to, I can go back. I can change the color of the text. You know, maybe I want this to be a brighter color. I'm going to make this as big as the text. Makes it just a little bit easier to work with. Correct my own grammar. That would be good. And then, you know, who knows, maybe I want to have a background to make that stand out a little bit more. You know, I could put a background box in there and make it stand out. So you really can do anything with Prezi, and again, you know, make it your own. So once you do this, once you make it the way you want it, you can even take this, you know, move these around. Let's say we move these around a little bit. So now I can just leave it as is, you know, and assume that I'm going to be, you know, just talking while I'm presenting and having this as my background. Or I could then go into the present mode. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Hold on. Go into the drop down next to the present mode here, and then go through exactly what I did with you before. So open up Prezi Video. I want to appear with my content. I hit the continue button. Allow camera. Now, right now, it's not going to allow me to do the camera unless I turn off my my Zoom camera. So, so I'm going to stop my camera there and see if it will allow me to switch over. It should allow me to switch over. There we go. See? And now I'm in the Prezi that we just created together. And so even from here, you know, this is, I'm not glued to where I had everything either. I can go in here and play around with it and go, you know what, that's kind of on my face, or I don't really want that over there anymore. Now that I see it, you know, I want to move things around. And so I can move things, you know, even, you know, up until this point, you can still move them until you're recording. So I think it's a really simple process to go through. And the important thing is, like, you know, if you do try and do this, watch all the videos. They have so many Prezi videos that are tutorials. That's how I learned, you know, and I made some, you know, some demo videos like this, just so that way you could, so that way I could practice. But at this point, you know, like, there's so much help out there, and I'm more than willing to help you as well. So if you need some help, you know, reach out, and and I can help you to get this off the ground if you need it.
Nancy, this has been great. Awesome tutorial, and seeing it actually live and in action. Can you show us one of
Yes.
Let's stop and see if people have questions before you show the one for the younger kids. Looks good.
Looks good. Everyone is good?
All right. Okay. You've got some real positive comments in the
oh, good. Okay.
And Jean loved the fact that you picked Oscar, the black pug, and Kelly loved the corgi. So you did great with the dogs.
That's awesome. All right. So for the last thing, then I guess I'll give you a a look at one of the younger grade videos. I think I'm actually going to re-record it. See, that's the thing. That's the great thing about this, is that if you record it and then afterwards you're like, you know what, I can do better. You can certainly do that. So this one, I do have this up on the YouTube channel, but I think I'm going to redo it before I post it on any of the web pages. But I'll share it with you anyway, and then you'll get to see it. So
I really just love the versatility of this program. This has so many nice options.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love about it as well. Hello, friends. Welcome to Family Violence Project's virtual education class called Hands Are Not for Hitting. Today, we're going to talk a lot about our feelings. And we're also going to talk a lot about our hands. I'm pretty sure that you brought both of those things with you today. Let's start with talking about all of the wonderful things that we use our hands for. Let's take a closer look at some of the things that we use our hands for that are helpful and kind. Can you find a picture of someone sharing? That's right. There it is on the left. And can you find a picture of someone comforting a friend? Yes, that's the second picture. She does look like she needs a friend right now. How about someone tying a friend's shoe? You found it. I bet you've even done that. And then how about caring for an animal? There it is, the one with the bunny. Nice job. Stop for a minute and think of some other helpful or creative things that you use your hands for. Next, we're going to talk about feelings. I know that you brought your feelings with you today. We bring them with us everywhere we go. And sometimes those feelings can be really, really big. So let's take a closer look at those big feelings. Sometimes we have happy feelings. Can you find a picture of happy feelings? I bet you found it. Other times we feel angry. There's a picture for that too. Sometimes we even feel worried or sad. I bet you can find those pictures. Nice job. Now take a minute and name some other feelings that you know. I bet you were able to list a lot of feeling words that you know. And everyone needs to know how to let those feelings out, especially the angry ones. If you don't, you could hurt someone or even get into trouble. And nobody likes that. There are actually 3 simple things that you can do to let those feelings out. Those 3 things are stop, breathe, and think. First, stop what you're doing to keep everyone safe. Just like stopping at a stop sign on the road. If a car didn't stop at a stop sign, someone could get really hurt. Next, take a deep breath, just like you do when you're blowing bubbles. And finally, think about something that you like to do that could help you calm down. Some people, when they're angry, like to read or draw a picture or even take a walk. You could even take a nap or talk to a friend. I bet you could come up with some other things that you like to do when you're angry. Our hands are always meant to be happy and for helping, never ever for hitting or hurting. Here are some fun activities that you could try with the help of a grown-up. See if you could trace your hand on a piece of paper. You can color it in after even. Maybe you have some paints in your house. Again, with a grown-up, you could try making a beautiful picture of handprints, or even just with your fingerprints. Whatever you decide to try, I'm sure it will be amazing. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Okay. All right, so I'm sure you might be able to see why I've decided that I'm going to re-record that one. As much fun as it was, you know, there were, first of all, I don't think I had the best video quality while that was being recorded. It was kind of a windy day, which affects things. And lighting is very, very important. So if you want to have good quality, you have to have good lighting. That is when I'll be re-recording, but you got to see the original version, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so I don't know if you have any other questions or thoughts for me at this time, but I think I've shared all of the content that I had planned on sharing, and I really hope that that you found it helpful. You know, that you learned a little bit more about Prezi and what it's capable of doing. And thanks to Susan and Jean for setting this up, and for all of you for coming.
Yeah, no, this was great, Nancy, and I really appreciate both being able to see some content in some of your presentations and how short they are, and the idea that they can be used in such a versatile way. Classroom teachers could take them, use them, stop as they want. You could do it distance learning or face-to-face in the classroom. I think, oops, my little note did not, there we go. One of the things I thought, and you were commenting, Nancy, about, you know, you watched it yourself and you're about, oh, I want to redo it. But I think having a colleague record one and have a colleague watch it is also just another way of getting some great feedback.
Yes.
Before you use it with your audience. And given the situations in our world right now, I think we all want to remember to be as multicultural as we can in our presentations.
Absolutely.
And that's just a note that I wanted to put out there as well. So, and reflective of your audience, you know who your audience is, and want to be supporting them. So, any last questions before we wrap up? This is really helpful. I think it'll be an awesome recording for people to go back and watch and be able to say, oh, here's another tool. And again, I just look at it as, wow, another opportunity of a different way of presenting content. So kids are seeing different platforms. Because as we get tired of things, we know kids get tired of things. So having something to change it up that way is awesome. So thank you very much, Nancy. Great job with your mini presentations as well as today's session, and your willingness to have people contact you for follow-up also is great. So thanks, everyone. Hope to see you in another one of our sessions. Look for the evaluation that'll come out later today. And if you have any other questions or thoughts, feel free to share with us. So make sure you sign into the chat box before we end as well. So thanks so much, everyone. Thanks again, Nancy.